Hello again, welcome to today's attempt of a Fibble puzzle. This is Wordle, but there's a liar in every row. So maybe the first E is lying, but then should it be yellow or green instead? Or maybe the T, U, D or second E is lying. The only way to find out is to play. It's auto-populated that first guess, and I'm going to make use of the T and the E being yellow by keeping them in position and seeing what we can learn. What we learn is that the E changes colour, so the E's lying at least once. That means the T can't be lying, because if the T's lying once, it's lying twice, and it can't be lying twice. So, what do I think is more likely here? Probably the E was lying up there. So I guess that means either the A or the S would be lying. Let's try paste. Interesting. I mean, the A still could be lying. Or, I mean, the P could be lying. Maybe the S was lying. Maybe we don't have an S. Oh no, but then that wouldn't make any sense, would it? What else would make a bit more sense? I've got the exact same letters. That's confusing me. Because maybe one of them is lying because it should be green? So if the S is lying here because it should be green, and the T is lying here because it should be green, then that might actually be consistent. So something like smite. Oh! Well, surely the E is lying, isn't it? But if the E is lying because it should be green, that means we've got all four of the other letters correct. The T couldn't be lying there. That means there has to be an anagram of these 5 letters that ends in E. And I don't think there is. So that means all of my other assumptions are wrong. The E is actually lying here. Maybe the E's been lying the whole time. If the E is lying everywhere, then it's going to be midst, because that is the only other word that uses M, I, S and T. No, but it can't be, because we can't use the S. Sorry, the D. And it can't be misty, because then the S and the T would both be lying here. So I'm very confused. It really feels most likely that the M would be the liar. Oh, I suppose, sorry, that is of course very plausible. If the E was lying the whole time because it's not in the word, then we just don't have an M. Or possibly we don't have an I, but it's more likely that we don't have an M. So what does that mean? That would mean it probably ends in S. The T is going to be first, probably. How about we try ticks? I'm getting less and less information as I go along. I've got so many greys now. Right, so I'm convinced that the S must be the liar. So that means we do have a T, we do have an I. They're not in those positions. That surely means that the T has to be third or last. The I would be first or fourth. That's suspicious. I mean, I suppose it could just be a word that ends IT, couldn't it? There must be plenty of those. But it does have to use the S, and the S does have to be second if it's an IT ending. So I don't think it's an IT ending because I can't think of something that would work. Right, so back to the drawing board. Again, if the S is lying and it's actually green, that means the T is third, and the I is first or fourth. So it can't be iotas, which means I don't think the I is going to be first. Can it be blank blank TIS? I suppose it could be rotis. I don't think that's common enough to be correct, at least outside of India, but it is a word, so it's worth a try. Oh, what does that tell me? I've still got so many yellows. How have I got so many yellows and no greens? I want some greens, and I've never said that before in my life. Oh dear. Okay, I definitely have to try a word that starts with I and ends in T if I can think of one. And ideally, I would think of a word that's also got the S in second or fourth. So what am I saying? IS blank blank T or I blank blank ST? I mean, neither of those is remotely likely, is it? I mean, we could have some kind of duplicated letter, could we? But goodness knows what. What haven't I used yet that's a likely candidate? An L or a Y? Oh, I've got no idea what's going on. There's definitely a T, but that's about all I've learned. I'm not even confident in so many of my deductions. Oh dear. Could it be as simple as items? No, it can't be, because then the T can't be second. The T definitely isn't second, and it's definitely not fourth. We know that from the first two rows it's not second, and the next two rows it's not fourth, but it's definitely in the word. So surely that means it has to be last. It's the only place we haven't tried it yet. So let's just try midst. I don't think this can be correct. Right, I was going to say, but it will give me a lot of information. I've finally got some greens. I don't know what it tells me, but I've got some greens. That's all I was asking for. Right. So if the I is lying there, then that means we have to use the C or the K. Sorry, if it's lying because it was green, then we have to use the C or the K, because we can't use the S. And I don't think that's going to work. So the I is not lying. Or, sorry, the I is not green. It still could be lying. If the M is not lying there because it's just gone green, what on earth does that tell me? If there's no M, then that's lying, and there's also no S, and that can't be correct. We've definitely got to have at least one of those two. What else? Could it just be moist? Is that consistent with everything? If it's moist, then the E's lying, E's lying, E's lying. M-O-I is lying because it's in the correct place. That's not what I considered. I just assumed I didn't have the M. But in fact, I did have all four of those letters. M-O-I-S-T, the S is lying. The O is lying there. I've been really unlucky with the way that it's given me the liars here. And the S is lying there. It's got to be moist. Oh, wow, that was a struggle. I had 4 out of the 5 letters way up here. I just didn't realise it. It's so difficult when they're all yellow. And also when you don't know what you can trust. Wow. That is one of my worst performances. I'm just relieved that I finally did manage to get the word. I'm sure people were shouting moist at the screen, in which case I imagine you got some funny looks if there's anyone around you. Anyway, that's Fibble, eventually. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.